I lived with roommates at the time. I was in my little room, in my little chair, drinking my cup of coffee, and it's like 3:45, 4 a.m. And I finally surrendered. I truly surrendered genuinely to God and said, God, just tell me what to do. You could pray to God, but he's not going to do your push-ups. He's not going to build your business. He's not going to work. He's not going to do the things that you have to do. You have to actually get up. And that part was the book that you sent me, the personal development work. There's no such thing as failure. The only failure that exists is if you stop. And what is failure? That's all ego-based. Oh, I'm going to fail in front of Ejay. I'm going to fail in front of me. So it doesn't look, it's just ego.
What is up, everyone? I'm Ejay Cruz, and this is The Parables, your go-to source for wisdom, inspiration, and real conversations to help you become your highest self. If this is your first time joining us, I welcome you and I'm grateful that you are here. And if you are a returning listener, subscriber, I thank you so much for running it back. And guys, I just want to get right into it because I have such an incredible human being in front of me who, by the way, I appreciate. He's not from Southern California. He flew out here. I'm just such a big fan of this gentleman. My guest, my brother, Michael Gastelum. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Okay. AKA Gas Money. Man, we've known each other for a few years now, and we're finally connecting. And I'm just so excited about what we're about to dive into. Yes, but Gas Money, he's the owner of Saint Fit, a gym in Napa Valley up in NorCal. He runs a 7-figure coaching business that helps people all around the world, not only just transforming their bodies, but renewing their mindset and reconnecting with God. He's also the founder of Savage Saint Nation, which we're going to talk about shortly, a community, a movement helping men and women level up mentally, physically, and spiritually, which I'm so excited to get into. And what I admire most about you, Mike, is just how you've been able to take your past, your trials, your tribulations, your pain, and just turn that into a force of good, right? To power, and using your story just to inspire and challenge others, man. And so this conversation, guys, if you're listening, buckle up, get your notepads ready, take some notes, because I promise you're going to get a lot out of this conversation. But Gas Money, appreciate you coming on the podcast, brother.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let's go. Super excited,
Thank you.
man.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me, man. When you sent me that message and said, you want me on the podcast, I was like, this is 4 years in the making.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I came across you was on Instagram, and I was like, I like this guy. I like his style. Some of the people that you were connected with, obviously, guys like Bedros. I'm like, who doesn't look up to guys like that in the business world? Even Randall Pitch. I don't know if he's your homie or how you know.
Yeah, that's
and
the
I was
homie.
like, I liked his style too. I always admired him, and I was like, one day I don't know why subconsciously I was like, one day we're gonna connect. One day we're gonna do something together. Yeah. And I think when you posted something on your social media, you said like, do these 3 things, and then I'm going to send you a gift. Yeah. And I don't know if you remember that or not.
Okay, I think I do. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We how us coaches, influencers, business, we have to do those type of things. I was like kind of starting to get going on my thing, and I did all the 3 things, and you sent me a gift a couple weeks later. I was like, I wonder if he's, going to send me what he said he was going to send me. I open up my mailbox and I see this book. And I'm like, what is this? I'm like, and this is the truth. I opened the book. It was a blue cover. It was 177 mental toughness secrets.
Amazing book.
Amazing book. And I was like, this is the worst cover I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, oh, no wonder he's sending it to everybody. But check it out. You never judge a book by its cover, literally. And I opened it up, and I couldn't put it down. It was one of my main personal development books. If any of you guys are looking for a personal development book, I highly recommend it. It's actually one of the books that I have. It's the Bible, Steve Siebold's book, and some Napoleon Hill books, mainly the Bible, don't get me wrong. And then when I got my first mentor, that was his book that he recommended. So I was like, nice. You planted that seed. The seed grew with my other coach, and then it just kept going from there. But that book is just short, sweet, good little tips that you could read drinking your coffee. But that's how I got connected with you.
Yeah.
And it's just, now I send it to all my people.
Yeah.
You know, all because of you. your fault.
Dude, I appreciate you bringing that. Dude, I kind of forgot, not going to lie, but it's just crazy. First thing is that book's amazing, guys. If you are able to check it out, it's basically like a devotional, in my opinion, because it's like, what, 177 chapters, right, that you could read quickly, right? Less than less than a page, probably, right? And the other thing, too, I just want to point out is thanks for sharing that, bro, because sometimes the little things that we do, we don't see the ripple effect that it causes. And that's just a true testimony. I didn't know that. No, I didn't know it did that for you and for the other people, man. So I just thank you for sharing that. And this is what I love about you too. You are not afraid to share your testimony, your story, the things that even on the other side, right? The hard stuff that people like shy away from sharing too, right? So I appreciate you, brother.
Well, you reap what you sow. So like a lot of people, they plant those seeds like you did, and then they dig them up. Like I could have taken that book and then just threw it off to the side, but I actually, you take that seed, you planted it, and then I just kept watering it. So a lot of people, they're like, why am I in this situation? I'm like, because you keep digging up your seeds. You keep digging up what your forefathers, your coaches, your mentors, you dig them up. And I'm like, lack of faith, doubt, or lack of vision, whatever it may be. And I'm like, I grew up playing sports my entire life. So coaching, taking direction is not foreign to me. Like I like it. And I actually respected you too. So I'm like, let's keep watering this. It was a perfect timing, basically.
I appreciate it, man. Well, listen, man, let's dive into it. We're going to be talking a lot, right, about God, about discipline, about mindset, and a bunch of other stuff. But real quick, for those that don't know who you are, just take us back a little bit in regards to, just a quick introduction about yourself, where you grew up, and kind of like, that switch that turned you to where you are today.
Yeah. So my name's Michael, aka Gas Money.
Gas Money.
Yeah, Gas Money.
Come on.
Yeah. So Gas Money, where that originated from was my last name's Gastelum. I'm a Mexican American. Ain't nobody saying Gastelum. Okay, when you play sports, they ain't gonna say Gastelum. So they called me Gas. Okay. But on the ball fields, so I played baseball, Division I baseball player, and I actually walked on to the team. I didn't get scouted. I didn't get recruited. So I've always had that work ethic. Mexican, blue collar. My parents, I have great parents. Like they raised me really well, and they really instilled just integrity, honor, and working your butt off. And so I went from high school to St. Mary's College, mid-major school, ended up walking on, making the team, and started at shortstop. For any of you guys who don't know, shortstop is, you got to be a beast to play shortstop, But they would call me Gas, but they would also call me Money, because I was money on the ball field. So I just put a Gas Money, and then 5 years, or I don't know how many years later, basically that was my handle. So it's like when they call me up to the stage, when we get to that point, and here we are, it's like, here's Gas Money. It's not my name. It's just literally my nickname. I don't know if it's gonna work, but we're rolling with it.
Yeah. The name was chosen for you, basically, and you got to stick with it, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah. But after that, I went to school, which I have my thoughts on that. The only reason I went to school was because I wanted to play sports. Okay. That was it.
We're talking college now, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about college.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to high school. Yeah. And then after that, so I was a fifth year senior, okay? And I redshirted my first year. And so I had an extra year. And so they said you could either kind of cruise and just take some BS classes and enjoy your last year, or you could start your MBA. We could get you in, and you can apply, and we can get you in. And so I was like, well, I want to do more. And then so I started my MBA. And to be honest with you, I didn't really learn that much. And I could tell you why, and not to totally disregard that. But after I wrapped up my baseball career and wrapped up the MBA, I went into construction. So I went from doing that to making $13 to $15 to a whopping $17 an hour doing construction, and basically was in a lot of people's situation, like what am I going to do with my life? I wanted to own a business. I wanted to be more, do more. I wanted to become more. And then I started my first gym, my first business, which is called Saint Fit. And I started that at 26 years old.
Nice.
I didn't know any sales. I didn't know any marketing. I didn't even know how to do personal training. Even though I knew how to train, I wasn't a certified personal trainer. So all I knew was I had a vision, and I wanted to build my confidence, and I wanted to help others do the same thing. And I just went for it. And that's one of the things. It's like when you're that young, not everybody's like this, but when you're that young, you kind of have a little bit of delusion where you can make things happen. Yeah. And I rested on a lot of my past achievements as well. So the fact that I made the team, I got my MBA, I leaned on that, and I'm like, you could do this, run it, get it, like make it happen. Yeah. And so the first week that I had my business, I sat in my little office, not as nice as this. I was in my little office, and I'm like, how the heck am I going to pay rent? Because that was my only worry was, okay, you got this business. How am I going to pay rent? And I'm like, well, sales. I just naturally knew that. And so I looked up, how to sell, and all the names came up, Grant Cardone, Jordan Belfort, and then all the other guys that pop up on YouTube. And I just started kind of gaming myself up, and just with my normal personality, I got people to join the gym and do personal training and things like that. And I started doing personal training at $30 an hour. At $30 an hour, now we charge $120 an hour. To do a one-on-one call with me, it's $1,000 an hour now. But I first started at $30 an hour. Yeah. So that's kind of the start of my story. Nice. And then I started that business, and then I went astray, basically. I started... I think this is where a lot of people go wrong, is they chase everything on the outside. Okay, they want to start the business, they want to make the money, they want to go for everything on the outside, if you know what I mean. And I forgot to focus on the inside. Even though I was a baseball player, that's still on the outside. Yeah. There are things you learn on the inside, yes, about yourself. Starting a business is still on the outside, and what it led me to is I still felt empty. I didn't create. So I tell people, let's create a legendary life. Okay. Create a life you don't need a vacation from. But first you have to create a legendary person. And that means loving who you are, being impeccable with your character, with your self-talk, your attitude, being in shape, being jacked, just loving your superhero character. And I forgot about that. So what that led me to was doing what every other CEO, boss, business guy that I thought this is how it was supposed to be. Yeah. Drink, cigars. I didn't smoke cigars, but that kind of image. Yeah. And that led me astray. And then 5 years deep into it, COVID happens, and I'm like, my gym gets closed. What you got? And I was left with looking at myself in the mirror, because all the clients left, the gym is closed, literally. Oh, I don't want to say no money, but no money's coming in.
You had to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, back to, and I'm left, and I went through a breakup. I was drinking, and all that happened. I'm left looking at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, you ain't all that. Like I'm not happy with this, and that's what kicked literally this next chapter of my whole life.
You got to refocus.
You refocus, yeah.
Dude, I love it, man. Yeah. If we could go back real quick, so you got into construction because you just already knew like maybe the college traditional life, which just wasn't for you. It kind of sounds like. Kind of.
I just, to be honest with you, when I was in those rooms getting my MBA, I was just looking around, and nothing really inspired me from the people that I was looking at. And I didn't know what I was looking at, to be honest with you. I just knew that I didn't like it. So if you don't know what you want, let's start with what you don't like, what you don't want. And that's kind of what I was. I was like, I don't know if I want to go corporate and do that whole route. And there were some things on the inside that I knew that I was not confronting, insecurities, fears, doubts, hesitations. I knew those were in there. So I decided, let's take a step back. Let's do construction while I kind of figure that out. Yeah. And
You just knew you didn't want to stay idle, right? So you went to construction while you're
Yeah.
still trying to figure something out.
I grew up in construction, like
okay.
working with my hands. I mean, my dad's a badass mason. Like,
Nice.
I grew up around just badasses, basically. That's how I would see it. But I mean, so I was like, maybe I just do that. You know?
By the way, I gotta steal that bar. If you don't know what you like, start off with what you don't like.
Yeah, exactly.
Freaking like that.
The thing is that you do know what you like. You do know what you want. You do. It's deep down inside. You just have a lot of fear. You got to dig deep, because I'm like, I guarantee you, once I get you drinking, once I get you smoking, all that fear, all that veil that we speak of, once it gets washed away, you're going to be like, I want to do what you're doing, Ejay.
Yeah.
I want to be like helping people. I want to start that business. I'm like, it was just fear that was just robbing you, not allowing you to get to who you really wish to be. And that's what I help people to do today.
Yeah.
And obviously, I don't want people to, that's what I tell people. I don't want you to drink. I don't want you to smoke. Like, we don't want to use it like that. But Jordan Peterson has said it before, like it takes that edge off. It takes the doubt and the fear. That's why you see, I don't know if you drank or did any of that life before, but you do things that is probably not in your character, because you don't have that. You're just impulsive. Yeah. And so I try to use that kind of sense, that way, but in a good way, without the alcohol, without the drugs and things like that. But I start with what you don't want.
I like that. And so you're doing construction, and then you start Saint Fit, right? And I'm assuming while you were making money as you know, in construction, you used that to kind of help launch Saint Fit a little bit. Yeah, a little bit of money. A little bit of money. I mean, $17 an hour. You look at your check, you're like $696. You're like, what the heck? Yeah. Like, but I ended up getting a 10K line of credit. Nice. Somehow, some way. I don't know how, because I didn't have any history or anything like that. And then the gym that is actually called Saint Fit, it was a gym prior to that. Oh, okay. So that was the gym that I went to before. Got it. And this is why you got to keep your eyes open, and you got to be respectable at some level. Yeah. And I was, I played Division I ball. I've always been respectable. I've always been a leader at some facet. And the owner at the time, I had a quick conversation with him, and I was like, "What's next? His name was Mike. I was like, "What's next, Mike? What you want to do? Yeah. Like, how are things going?" He's like, "Oh, I'm trying to get out of the gym business." Boom. I kept that in my mind. Yeah. And I'm like, "What you mean you're trying to get out of the gym business?" I'm trying to get into something. And so, without trying to press the issue and scare him off, I kind of nestled my way into the conversation. Planted the seed a little bit. It was like a fit, a natural kind of fit, exactly. Right? And that's where, like, being a respectable, just a people type of person can go a long way. It's like your skills can sometimes be pushed to the side. As long as you have a little bit of relational capabilities, you can get into situations. And anyway, we worked out a good deal where he was able to stay in the gym, because there was a couple offices, and run his own physical therapy business. Nice. Meanwhile, I wouldn't charge him. So that was my way of paying him. Yeah. Because I didn't have, $50,000, $75,000 that he was asking for. Yeah. So I was like, let's get creative. And nowadays it's way more expensive, right? Exactly. It was a failing business. So, and I guess that's the key, right? If you're going to look for a business, look for something, and you could probably speak way more on that, but like, look for something that has potential, but is kind of failing. Yeah. And I always tell people, like, you don't have a money problem, you have a creativity problem. Like, people are always, I don't have the money. I'm like, neither did I. Yeah. But I had the vision, and then I had the creativity, and I was able to make it work. Yeah. And so that's how I started. Yeah. Dude, I love it too. And so the reason why I wanted to go back, because I see this connection here. Yeah. You spoke about, like, you were a little delusional. Yeah. You didn't know what it looked like. You didn't have the clarity because you were still figuring things out. The creativeness was like a little there. You knew you had that just ambition. Yeah. But you were delusional, and I almost feel like everyone needs to have some sort of delusion. But the difference maker is that you stick to it. Yeah. And you maybe don't know what it looks like. You're trying to figure it out, but you just stick to it. Like, know there's something there. And that's what it sounds like you did. Because, like you said, you got connected and you didn't know what it looks like. And now here you are. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Absolutely. So that delusion seems like, if you got delusion, I like to say, like, that's probably a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Some delusion with an enormous amount of work ethic is a good combo right there. And I've always been like a dreamer. You know, I grew up watching the Rocky movies, watching WrestleMania, watching just, I don't know what other movies, all the sports movies that are just like underdog comes and he rises to the top. That was me. And when I look at people, at the world in general, one of the first things that the devil is going to really snatch from you is your vision. And your vision's your eyesight, your hope, your imagination. And that's what I plant back inside to people to be like, remember, like, get deep down into your soul, reconnect with your vision. And if you look at the world and you're like, man, my bank account's dry, look at who I am, look at my situation, you're looking at life based off of what you see. And that is the last thing that you want to do. You don't want to look at life based off of what you see. Those are facts. That's not truth, though.
Yeah.
They're two different things. That's that's factual. That's what's on paper, but that's not what truth is.
Yeah.
And so for me, I was lucky. I was so lucky that I was a dreamer, and I was not to say that I've achieved all these crazy things, but that's what keeps me going. That's my gasoline, you know?
Yeah.
And
that's why they call you Gas Money, bro.
But that premium, man.
Yeah. Dude, that's awesome, man. So COVID happens, you know, you're back at the drawing board because, you know, the gym gets shut down. You know, you admit that you just felt like there was like a void in regards to, you know, just maybe how you were running the business, you know, maybe just the model of it, whatever that may be. And let's talk about now kind of like what you're doing now, because I find it beyond fascinating. Some people may seem like, Ejay, I mean, this is simple, but to me, it's not, because I have so many people in the fitness space, right? There's so many personal trainers out there, and lots of things they focus on, of course, is, of course, helping you get fit, right? But I think we all could agree it starts off for sure with the mindset. If you don't have the mindset, you can't achieve what you're trying to achieve from a physical standpoint, right? But the trifecta that you included in there, what I find fascinating is the reconnection with God, getting so spirituality, right? The physical part, and then the mindset. Talk about that real quick in regards to what that looks like.
Well, I only talk about things that I've actually experienced. I tell my team, I'm like, don't teach anything that you don't demonstrate. That's authenticity. That's authenticity. Don't talk about it unless you're really living it. And I actually get very passionate, and one would say mad about it, like, because a lot of people have knowledge, and that's not what it's about. It's about application. It's about your results. And so for me, the way that I talk about it is when I went through that breakup, and you know, people go through things all the time, but at that time, and I've gone through breakups before, but at that time, that was the tipping point. That was the turning point. 2020 was when the real Gas Money was born.
There we go.
And
2.0. That's why I call it, this is like Parables 2.0. Yeah, that's Gas Money 2.0.
That's right. You guys should see the studios. It's 10.0. But so I'm like, man, I have this business. I'm making $50K a month. I mean, at the time, that was pretty solid for me at the time. And I had personal trainers, but I still felt my life was going off. Okay.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, went through a breakup, was drinking. I was on anxiety medication. Didn't really, when I looked at myself deep down, I was like, you don't love yourself.
You weren't happy.
I was not happy. And so that's when I was in a situation where I needed to know an answer. And I was tired of asking people that I didn't even respect, looking for answers from advisors. Because, you know, everybody, when you're in business, you do have people that you lean on and kind of trust. I was tired of looking for all these different answers, and I finally started to look within. And I surrendered. And I remember I woke up early that morning. I was sitting on I lived with roommates at the time. I was in my little room, in my little chair, drinking my cup of coffee. And it's like 3:45, 4 a.m. And I finally surrendered. I truly surrendered genuinely to God and said, God, just tell me what to do. Literally, I'm like getting the chills just thinking about it, because
I'm getting the chills too.
Yeah. And I literally had tears in my eyes. And that was the first time. I've been in church before, and I actually never rose my hands in church ever. But that day I did. I said, God, just tell me what you want me to do. And I have like tears in my eyes, and I'm like, I'm done trying to make decisions for myself. I'm done, whatever. And that's when God, the Holy Spirit, I believe the Holy Spirit wrapped me at that moment, and I felt peace. So, and that's what Jesus is called, the Prince of Peace. And that's when I experienced that at that moment, and I started getting clarity. And so why, to answer your question, long story short, I could probably talk about this for 45 minutes, but everything that's in my program that I teach today is everything that I did and everything that I do still to this day. So I was 5 minutes late today. I hate being late, but I was laughing.
Give you grace.
I was talking to Coach V, and I was like, well, why were you late? It's because you were worshiping, you were praising, you were talking to God, and that's a level up right there, and it was deep, and so
acceptable excuse, no question, bro. Acceptable, bro.
Exactly. I appreciate it. So that's how it started, and then I realized, man, it's just so deep. Like, I realized my mindset wasn't there either. So there's this part of spirituality and connecting with God.
Yeah.
But there's also, like, you could pray to God, but he's not going to do your push-ups. He's not going to build your business. He's not going to work. He's not going to do the things that you have to do. You have to actually get up. And that part was the book that you sent me, the personal development work.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what your question was, but essentially I have reporting above. That's the first thing. That's off top. You got to do that, because God's going to give you ideas. He's going to give you peace. He's going to give you clarity. What if you're going through life, running your business, doing things, but you have no rest?
Yeah.
You have no peace. That is horrible. Yeah. Like, you go from one matrix to the other thinking you're going to gain freedom, but you ain't free. You're living with a bunch of stress. And that's why I say, no matter what you're doing, if you're in a 9-to-5, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're an entrepreneur, whatever it may be, connect with above. That way you can have that sense of peace. And then once you get up from your knees or from your chair, you go handle business like a boss, but you have to work on yourself as well. So that means getting fit, taking care of what you eat.
Yeah.
That means dropping vices, drugs. Those are obvious ones. It's like,
No, so I love it, because I want to go back. I think the lesson here is that Gas Money, right? He was seeking wisdom from other people where he thought he could get the actual wisdom he needed to level up. He surrendered, you surrendered, and you turned that wisdom from people to God. And I think that's just so powerful, because we often forget that, especially as hardworking men, women. We're trying to seek answers from an external standpoint, but we're not going within and just seeking that wisdom and advice from the man above. And I think that's just so powerful, and such a powerful lesson here. Like, when you just don't know, seek the man above.
When you're at rock bottom, that's the best place to be in, because rock bottom will force you to surrender. And sometimes that middle ground where a lot of people aren't at rock bottom. The masses, the middle class, the lower middle class, they're not in pain that much, but they're masking it with alcohol, with drugs. They're just a couple donuts and a couple drinks away from rock bottom, maybe a breakup away, but not yet. That's why it's like, you have to almost force yourself to surrender. You have to and find the pain, really. Before you end up hitting rock bottom. Like, if I could help people not hit rock bottom, that would be great. So it's not like a one-time thing either. I think that's a good point to bring up too. Like, I didn't surrender once and be like, well, thanks God, I appreciate it. Like, it's an everyday thing. I haven't missed one day since that day. I haven't missed one, and that's the honest truth. I haven't missed one day since that moment, because I have an addictive personality, probably just like you. And, and so I'm like, I'm chasing that peace. I'm chasing that wisdom. I'm chasing those answers. And that's why you got to do it. You got to do it hard. You got to push. Like, what worked 5 years ago of just throwing my hands up doesn't work today. I go even deeper. Now, and that's where God will kind of pull you a little bit.
No, the devil's working overtime for sure. There's just no question. We just got to continue to remind ourselves, and this is why we surround ourselves even with people. So this is what I love about you, is you're just a great reminder in your story in regards to, again, go back to the Almighty. That's where you'll find your answers and your wisdom, right? And what I've learned, because I knew and again, this is why I love what you do. I've been a fan of it, is because again, not only are you helping people level up in, their mindset and, their fitness, but you're getting people to reconnect with God, right? And what I've learned is true transformation does not happen unless there's alignment with your faith and your mindset, right? And I believe that's what your community, what your business is all about, right? And if we were to look at that from maybe what does that process look like, or maybe a framework? I have it even down here. It's like the 3 R's: renewal, refocusing, and then reinforcing, of course, the discipline part. Because that's what you do, right? It's about holding people accountable, and this is why you brought people together in your group, right? So talk about that. Let's segue then now to the community that you're building. Yeah. How what was the thought process behind that? Why did you do that? What have you seen? Some stories from maybe some people. What does that look like?
I mean, I didn't wake up one day and said, hey, I want to create this whole big old community. That did not happen. The path is illuminated as you walk it. So I just took that next step. And it first started with, let's get you right, Mike. Don't try to help. Don't try to teach. Don't try to help nobody until you are transforming yourself. So that means all the vices, they got to go. Let's get you in shape. But like I said, I didn't wake up thinking about this. But now, one of the things that I do now is, a lot of people are like, God, use me. God, use me. I don't ask that question. I really don't. I ask God to transform me. And as a byproduct, I will naturally start affecting people. My words will carry weight. So anything that I say, it'll hit. Even if it is not exactly 100% the best, I will have the grace to push through, if that makes sense. If that makes sense. So,
I think that's powerful. Sorry to interrupt. I think that's powerful because some people do that, right? They're like, God, use me. I'm waiting for you to tell me how to be utilized, right? My assignment. But then you're not doing anything. You're just waiting.
Exactly.
Right? You're transforming and, shaping your identity, the identity of Christ, right? And then that's where God will begin to use you.
Exactly.
Right?
Absolutely. So a lot of believers, they think that they're sinners forever. And what I call my people are savage saints. So that's what I'm creating. That's the brand. But I've kind of it was labeled first, and I'm like, I don't know what it is. And we've kind of just been walking through it. So I grew up in a town called St. Helena. I went to St. Mary's College. My gym's called St. Fit. And then now my people are called Savage Saints. Sorry, I'm getting mixed up. So I'm like, names mean something. Like you just got to follow it. So I'm like, what does that mean? I'm like, saint is a believer, but we're not just a saint. We're a savage saint. We go extreme, you
there
know, we go all in, baby, you know? And so I mean,
you are already building a community just from the elite coaching that you do around the world, right? In my opinion. But now you just kind of brought people into one community. Right? And just like the book of Proverbs, the famous scripture, iron sharpens iron. What I love about it is you brought men and women together, individuals who are looking to level up. But because of that community, there's a brotherhood, there's a sisterhood, there's encourement, right? And so, that's kind of what I see. You know what I mean? In regards to your community.
No, exactly. I think where we really are winning right now is results. You need to see it. And I think that I am a reminder. It's like if you meet me, you're going to be like, dang, I got to get in shape, man. Or I got to stop drinking, or I got to do this. And constantly showing up on social media, pushing this message, having accountability, things that we have to do every single day. It's just a reminder, because the reason why I say this is because if you look around most people's lives, you look at your mom, your dad, your friends, your people around you, they're not good reminders. They're going to tell you not to go for your dreams. They're going to tell you, here, have this drink. They're not really living the word, they're not really doing it. And so I think we hold the standards high, you know?
You got to get out of your normal comfort environment. And it's not to say that they're trying to hold you back sometimes purposely. It's just that they know you for who you are, and that puts you in a comfort bubble. Because I accept, because if you were my brother, you are my brother, but you're my brother. I accept you for I accept you for who you are, and I love you.
Yeah.
So the way you are is cool.
Right.
But to me, a true friend, a true person that cares about me is gonna come to me like, "Yo, Ejay, did you work out today?
Yep.
Ejay, I see you struggling. What can I do to help?" Like they're gonna purposely, maybe not directly, but intentionally. I mean.
Right.
Inspire me and get me to level up. And that's to me the type of environment you need to be with, but also at the same time just a true friend.
Absolutely. That's something that I've been thinking about a lot lately is like there's been progression a lot with me and my business. It's like, bro, like it doesn't matter if you're fat, like you're going to still go to heaven. It don't matter if you can still go to heaven if you accept Jesus as Lord and Savior. That's not the issue, like, so I don't ever really judge anybody like that, but there has to be some alignment. There, like if that's what you truly believe. This is what I think the program does, and it's something that you touched on is like working on your identity. Okay, working on your identity. If I think people's identities are way off, and they see themselves as something that they're actually not. And that's why I brought up the whole like sinners and saints. Yeah. If you see yourself still as a sinner, your actions will follow your identity. And that's one of the first pillars that I work on with my community. I'm like, first, we need to work on your identity. If I could get you to believe that you're your 10.0 self. So when you come on my program, I'm like, write your 10.0 superhero character self. And nice. I mean, bro, like, let's just be honest. Everybody wants to be in shape. You don't want to be, let's go back to it again. You don't want to be fat, right? Okay. You want to be fit. Okay. And I have them do all these things and I basically have them stamp it. Like you just leave it right there. Okay. If you walk into that person every single day, what kind of actions are you going to do? What kind of actions are going to follow that identity? You could even put in there, I'm a 7, 8, 9 figure entrepreneur. Well, what time does he get up? What does he eat? How does he talk? How does he walk? All those things. Yeah. And that's why I like the sinner thing to now, if you really believe in God and if you're aligned with Jesus, then you're now a saint. Yeah. Two different things. You shouldn't be sinning all the time. Yeah. You really shouldn't. Yeah. Like you could go a whole day without sinning. You really could. And that doesn't mean you're going to stay there forever. There's a chance that you agree with something that's negative, but that's the whole work. That's the whole job. So getting people to kind of zoom back out for a second and be like, hold on, let's stop for a second. What do I want in life? Yeah. Who do I want to be? Yeah. And even think beyond and deeper. I guess sometimes it's hard for people to think even beyond. So I just start with the superficial stuff. It's like, bro, let's just get you in shape. That if I could get you in shape, it allows me just enough space to throw in a deeper topic. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's the part where if you're out of shape, you're drinking, if you're not in a favorable position, and I start preaching to you some deeper, higher personal development stuff, you're not even ready. So, but if I tell you just get in shape and let's start progressing, get you a 6-pack with veins, now your mindset is open to receive some wisdom.
It's like you're what do you call it? You're peeling back that onion, right? And going a little bit deeper.
And I think people hit it too hard sometimes when they're just like, I'm gonna unload on this guy. I'm like, don't. Like, be the result first. You actually be impressive yourself, and then just give them that next action step. Don't tell them like level 100. Yeah. They're at level 2.
Yeah, you got to meet them where they are.
Exactly.
I see that all the time in business, bro, is some people just fail to meet their client, the person they're trying to serve. They're not meeting them where they are. And they have to remember, like, one of my mentors, one of the things I love, he said is like, you're the most qualified to help the person you used to be. So if I'm going to go help someone, I have to always remind myself like, yo, I used to be in that situation, but my mindset was all the way down here. If I'm qualified and I'm going to serve this person and help them, I got to have some patience and meet them there and then slowly, bring them up.
Absolutely.
Right?
100%. I literally, one of the things that I think I'm here on this earth for is being practical, like forcing people to actually do it. So I don't care what you know. I don't care what you think you know. I was talking to Coach V on the way here. I'm like, how can you tell if you really love God? And I'm like, I paused, and I'm like letting her think, and I'm thinking about it too. It's something that I ask myself. I'm like, you tell if you love somebody by your actions, by what you follow through with.
Yeah.
And so I force people to look at themselves in the mirror, including myself, because like, again, I don't teach anything that I don't demonstrate. So if I'm falling short on somewhere, I'm like, well, let's fix it, Mike. Let's not be fake. Let's be authentic. Let's be real.
Yeah.
And what I force my people to do is write out that identity statement.
Mm-hmm.
I have them write out affirmations. Because if you ask people like what they want, they're like, I know what I want. I have a bunch of goals. I have a bunch of dreams. I'm like, write it out. They can't even write. They don't even know where their business is going.
Yeah.
They don't know what they want for their life. They think you do, but I'm like, write it out. Let's see it. Can you explain it to a 5-year-old?
Yeah.
You can't. It's too complicated.
That's why I'm such a huge fan of being asked hard questions.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're asked hard questions, it allows you to dig deeper and get more clarity and more focus, right? Mm-hmm. It sounds like that's kind of like your, what do you call it, like onboarding process a little bit, or like the questions.
It's an ongoing onboarding.
Ongoing,
It definitely is, because I'm like, we never go away from the program. The program's for life, Like you may join my 6-month program, but this is life right here.
Yeah.
It touches on family, fitness, finance, faith, reporting above, your needle movers for your just personal life, and then your family, like if you drop on any of those areas, you're off program. And but one of the things I've been thinking about, I think you can understand this, is there's a lot of personal development people that touch on these topics of identity, of declarations, affirmations, but they don't tie in the faith part. Here, there's 2 parts that I truly just see so clearly. There's one side of building you up, but if you build too much, that means you just muscled the whole thing, and that's not really how it works. Like, you muscled it because God gave you grace, and you don't even know that God was there, but you think you did it all. So there's a little bit of ego in that I'm like, hold on, let's go back to breaking. So building and breaking, you have to surrender a little bit and know like whose you are and where you come from, if that makes sense. But with those 2, it's like it creates a powerful like grounding and a powerful individual. Like you're just grounded with it. So I guess what I'm saying is I'll have them say like affirmations, like, because people don't talk to themselves correctly. Like there's a difference between your self-talk and your thoughts. Every day you get thoughts. It's either from God or the devil. The devil's going to say, you couldn't do this podcast. You're not ready, and then God's like, do it. I have a message. There's a job here to do. So now those are thoughts. Those aren't yours. Now your job is to either agree with God or agree with the devil. Your self-talk though is different. Your self-talk is conscious, like literally tangible. So it's like, I am bold. I am fearless. I'm a leader. I'm successful. I'm powerful. I have my people say these things. And that really, really gives them a new set. It's almost like a breath of fresh air. They've never said anything like this since, maybe they said it when they were 5 years old, but now they're 28. Now they're 38. They never spoke like this. We ain't done yet though. We're not done yet, because this is where a lot of personal development people, in my opinion, they fail. And they fail maybe because they don't have this area in their life, which is the faith component. There's also God's word. There's also God's promises that he says. So what do you say? And then how can we layer it in with what God says as well? Now you have ultimate backing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. No, like, I love what you're saying, is just because oftentimes God's not the center of it all, right? And when God's not the center, usually there's definitely a void, and success feels a little empty, right? When you're pursuing greatness, right, a part of that is, it's not all about the spotlight. It's not about the accolades. It's really about, having God at the center of all that, so that when you pursue the greatness and you reach success, there's not a void or emptiness to it. Like it's eternal, right? It's eternal at that point, right? And so, the other thing too, I'm curious to know, you're also raising leaders, right? Because you're raising leaders, right? What have you found are like leadership qualities that, the people you work with need to acquire to lead themselves, lead their family? Like, What leadership qualities, like today, do you think, not even just your clients, but maybe just like the modern day man or woman, like what leadership qualities do they need in order to thrive and be successful in today's society?
When people join my program, I say the answer is yes, coach. Like the answer is yes, coach. So having a student-like mindset. So whatever I ask, the answer is yes. But I'm like, that's the same way I approach God. If God says, if he tells me something, I say, yes, God. And that sort of attitude is so good. You have to be able to keep your hand raised to listen, to honor your coach or to honor your mentor, to honor God. That's so key, because I think where people go wrong, I think they try to like justify, like, I'm just going to do 60% of what God says. I'm just going to do 60% of what the program says or what. But so I start ingraining this. I teach people how to be a student first. I think that's really, before they're a leader, I'm like, you can't be a leader until you become a good listener, a good student.
I was just going to say that before you could lead, you got to become a student, right?
And I think that's where where the humility, man, like you got to like get up early and humble yourself and be like, God, I don't know everything. These are, and I repent of these things. Like these are where I agreed with the devil at this moment, and then you repent. That's like positioning your heart and your mindset to be a student right there. So I'm like, you have to do it yourself. Yeah. And I do it myself. And if I ever catch myself where I'm not, I do it right then. So I guess having a student-like mindset, saying yes, I have one client, just to give you an example. Yeah. He was on drugs, every hard drug from the age of 12 years old. I'm talking about alcohol, weed. They had to pump his stomach. They took him from school to the hospital. He almost died. And he did, he's going to laugh if he sees this podcast. I always say, you were doing meth. I was like, because I tell my stories. I'm like, this is Gilbert. He started fat, gummy bear, out of shape. He was doing drugs. He was doing meth. Yeah. You're like, man, you put me on blast. But it's all love, because now he got his family back. He's in shape. And he moved out the hood, and now he's renting his first spot that is $3,000 a month. Nice. And I bring this story up for this simple reason. Gilbert said yes, coach, from day one, and he's been a student since day one. He just listened. And I remember the first coaching call that he was on. He had all these questions of fitness, like, how do I track my macros? What are white rice or brown rice? And he realized, this coaching call, nobody's asking questions like this. They're all deeper level questions, like real life questions. Yeah. And so he crumpled up the paper, threw it away, and he's like, what I'm really struggling with is weed and dropping my vices. And I'm like, well, what are you scared of? And then he was like, that I'll go back to it. Like, what if it doesn't work out? Yeah. He said, what if it doesn't work out? I said, what if it does? And then from that moment, I said, you're not going to drink anymore. No more. That's it. Throw it away. Yeah. And just those words from me, that's why I'm like, dude, you have to build yourself up to a leader, a person of influence, just to a certain point where you can reach a person that's not where they should be. And from there, he hasn't touched anything in over 2 years. Yeah. And his life has completely flourished. And that's why I'm like, you're not supposed to stay a sinner. Your life is supposed to be flourishing, shining, growing. Everybody's is. There might be a season. There might be a little piece, but don't think for 1 second that you're supposed to not have money. You're supposed to be sick. You're supposed to have disease. You're supposed to stay in that spot. No, like 100% no. Like, what God do you serve? Yeah. And so that's why it's good to know God. It's good to know what you want. Good to have people like myself and beyond, in your corner. Yeah. But he's just, he listens.
That's amazing, man. John C. Maxwell, who you probably follow. Yeah. He describes a leader as someone that knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. Yeah. I think that's just very, very powerful.
And not in the way.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. Yeah. Yeah, man. So let me ask you this, because I've been in this situation before, right? Like, how do you stay obedient when you're just in the trenches? When nothing is going your way. You're getting punched in the face. You're not getting any wins. And at some point, the devil just is really taking over and instilling that fear and doubt. And just because you're not getting the results you have, like, that's just making it 10 times worse, right? How do you, like, what would you say to someone that's actually, like, going through that? Like, they just, they're just losing that faith. They're just kind of like, God, like, how come you're not blessing me? Why are there any changes? Why am I not winning? Why am I still losing?
Yeah, there's a lot of answers to that one. Well, I'll just first start off by saying, like, there's no such thing as failure. The only failure that exists is if you stop. And what is failure? That's all ego based. Oh, I'm gonna fail in front of Ejay. I'm gonna fail in front of me, so it doesn't look. It's just ego. That means you just said you're in the way. So first of all, let's move your ego out of the way, because you're learning right now. Ego is edging God out. You're taking God out of the situation. And number two,
that's a bar right there.
Absolutely. Like number two, and I don't know if people are ready for this, but this is what really helps me, is you have to know God's promises. Go read the Bible and just type in, what are God's promises?
Yeah.
Like, I will never leave you or forsake you. I'll never leave you. I was always with you. So during that hard time, all you got to do is reach out.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do. And that's what I did. And there's a bunch of promises in there. It's like, where you're weak, you are made strong. That's a promise. I'm like, do you believe? You said you believe in God, right? You said you believe in God, right? Hold on, let's stop. You said you believe in God. Okay, well then start agreeing with it, start acting like it. And so I know that's kind of hard for people to really comprehend, but I'm like, you got to dig deep, man. You got to dig deep.
It's the truth.
It's the truth. Yeah. But for me, I take it as like, okay, good. I'm going through this situation. I either can live in fear, or I can use this opportunity to show God, because faith is like God's currency. Like you that makes God happy. So I'm like, you know what? It's all good. I could lose everything. I was like, I ain't going to lose this faith though. It's not going to happen. So you have to see it. Yeah, people are too close to the situation, you know, and they have to back up a little bit and be like, what kind of man am I in this moment? To me, I'd be like, you're acting like a weenie right now, bro. Yeah. Straight up. Yeah. Like you're all fearful. And what if it doesn't work out? I'm like, what if you do lose it all? So what? Get it all right back. It's all like, it's just not even about that, but I take it as a test of my character. Yeah. And that's what really helps me. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it's like, bro, like, I don't care if I have an 8-figure business. I care if I'm an 8-figure man. I care if I'm consistent with my character. I care if I'm validating my own self in alignment with what I believe, so-called believe, you know? Yeah. That's important to me. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Like, because I know if I lost it all, I'd be doing the same thing, and I'll get it all right back. Yeah. And faster, way faster.
Yeah. I think a lot of people sometimes find themselves, maybe even you could relate to this, find themselves in a position to naturally lead because, again, they're capable, especially when they've transformed their life, right? You know, you touched on it a little bit in regards to what should people, you know, my question to you is, what should people look for when hiring a coach? You mentioned that you definitely got to find someone that like you don't preach anything that you haven't gone through, experienced, or walked through, right? What are other traits or character, things that people should look for when hiring a coach?
Oh, wow. I mean, well, the first one that off top, you got to have results, massive ones. Like if you don't see transformation after transformation, testimonial, I went from X amount to X amount, like you got to see results.
Yeah. No credibility.
No credibility. And there's a lot of, it is what it is. I'm going to just say it. Like there's anybody nowadays can have a podcast and post on social media. I'm like, that's all still you though. Like I want to see your people. All this wisdom that you're talking, all this knowledge. I want to see who's behind you. What leaders are you creating? So that's the first thing. And then number two is like, I guess just aligning with the overall message. Like, but I really think results is the biggest thing. Yeah. Like study them. Like look at look who they're around too.
Yeah, you know? Yeah. I also see it too. Correct if I'm wrong. Is if I'm going to hire a coach, it's probably someone whose life that I maybe want to emulate a little bit, right? If I'm going to hire a coach, like a life coach, I want to know that they're a believer. I want to know that a priority of theirs is being a father, right? Building relationships, financially successful, like all the 5 Fs, you know, like all that stuff, right? Like it's a life that I want to emulate, right? And I think that's important because I know for me, when I was looking up for mentors, hiring, like I always kind of looked at the external stuff a little bit. And I'm glad I went through that because it really helped me refocus on actually who I look up to, because we just spoke about it. I don't really, I mean, I have a good judgment. I like to think I have good instincts. I could be wrong sometimes, but sometimes people say a lot, but they don't do a lot. So now when I'm with people, like you could say all the nice things and, you know, inspire me a little bit here and there, but I'm really going to look at what you do. You know, it's not about what you say, it's about what you do.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I think that's an important character as a coach. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Man, like, I think that's what drew me. It's like you have to be attracted to the lifestyle. Well, let me say this. A lot of people on my team, they start seeing a little bit of results. They start seeing, you know, 15 pounds down. They're starting to get filled with wisdom and they start getting excited, you know, and they're like, how can I change people? I'm like, bro, you change people by you changing yourself.
By changing
really
you.
Like, and I'm talking about impressive, like as best as you possibly
like
can.
True transformation, like mentally, physically, emotionally, the words that you say out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. That's straight scripture. It's like, well, how are you speaking? What are you saying? Are you speaking death or are you speaking life? And, but it all comes back to you. And, but yeah, I agree with everything that you're saying. It's, there's one thing with coaches that I would caution is you have to really discern, are they after money? And are they after clout, or are they after really, truly helping you? Because I think that there's a phase right now in social media where people are realizing that coaching's a lot harder than it is, or it's extremely hard. It requires all of you. And so a lot of people, there was a 2-year, 3-year gap where everyone's like, I want to be a coach. I see Gas Money in the Lambo. I see Gas Money living and he's helping people. I want to be just like that. I'm like, bro, this is going to require 100% of you. That I never got into this for the money. You're getting into it for the money. I got into it to help people. So that's one thing, is like, kind of roll the tape back and see how this coach got started. Like, did he just get started into it? Did he make his money somewhere else? Or I don't know, like, if you catching what I'm saying, you have to like see if they're truly, truly, genuinely trying to help you. Yeah. And I guess I'm coming more from the standpoint of my coaching in terms of like life coaching, personal development. I guess there's that's why I don't sell money that much. Like, I don't really tell people like, oh, I'll help you make money. Yeah. Because those sometimes are the worst people to work with. No, my take, I love what you're saying. My take is kind of this. It reminds me of discipleship, right? I remember we were asked a question like, what does discipleship look like for you? You know, the ultimate goal is to be able to disciple the thousands, the world, right? But you could start off small, especially if you're new, and just start discipling at the comfort of your home. Discipling your family. So you could start small. The other thing too, I think the big question, and again, I like hard questions. I mean, sometimes I hate it, but you know, I love it, right? Is can God trust you with his children? You know, if you're gonna take on a role, whether it's a mentor, a coach, serving, you know, whatever business you're in, I think the hard question is like, yo, can God trust you? Right. You know, in the financial industry, a question that was asked to me like, hey, if you're gonna give financial wisdom to people, can God trust you with that role, with that assignment? Absolutely. I think that's powerful. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? With this podcast, right? Can God trust you with the actual intention of this? And I know I'm going a little off track here. A lot of people think, you know, podcasting, for instance, I feel people do it just because they know it's a personal brand play. It helps elevate their business. It helps elevate their personal brand. To me, it's much more than that now. Absolutely. To me, it's actually like, I enjoy conversations. I enjoy sending this message out and actually impacting people's lives. You know, it's deeper than that.
Imagine if this podcast could deliver somebody or get them on the path to deliver
and it
deliverance.
Has.
And that is like rudimentary. That's foundational right there. It's like, man, it's not about just Ejay, you know, no disrespect. It's not about gas money. It's about the job that we got to do. Yeah. And I think about myself when I had a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, a lot of those things, a lot of fear. I'm like, you're just worried about yourself. Like, stop it. Like, it's just it's low level. You know, it's not about you. And that line helped me so much for a long time. Anytime I start kind of like thinking in that manner, I'm like, it's not about you. Remember,
So
you're
good.
here to help somebody,
Yeah.
and God's gonna use you, and He's gonna use a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I think one thing to remember too is like even bad people have money, but it matters the character and the integrity that you have behind the money,
And how they use it.
how they use it, and how you're like, if you were to teach somebody, all right, this is how you're gonna make your first million. It's not about the money. It's like there's going to be so many integral topics about integrity, character, your word, and why you do it. That's like discipling them to take care of the money.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of my take, and I think you agree with that kind of leadership.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So tell me, what is the community? What is your coaching and your business? What does that kind of look like in the future? Because I see it as a global thing, right? In regards to what you're doing, like, I it's kind of weird. I hope no one takes this in the wrong way. I feel like Jesus is back, like in regards to society,
right?
I feel like we've kind of deviated away a little bit, and I don't know if it's like a cultural societal thing where it's like, yo, you can't talk about Jesus, your faith, and things like that. But I feel like there's like this new wave, whether it's like the I don't know if it's like the music now, if it's just like, leaders like yourself.
Right.
Like I feel like we're just like, I don't know. I feel like it's not like Jesus never left.
Right. He never left.
But like I just feel like this is like new wave, and I'm all about it. But what does it look like? What does the future look like for your business, the people you're coaching, your school community? What does that look like in your eyes? Well, tell me your vision, bro.
Yeah, tell me my vision. I'm still like, okay, let me just back up because you said a lot. The world that we live in right now, we're going through a massive identity crisis, right?
Yes.
And so there's so many different things where it makes Jesus look very normal. So now people are like, oh yeah, Jesus. I'm like, yeah, because everything's so crazy nowadays. Like it's very, very more welcomed, and that's cool.
There's spiritual warfare happening all the time, for sure.
And that's what I think I want people to understand is like any situation that you're going through, you can't attack it at the root. You have to go spiritual. And I knew that from day one. It's like my life is not progressing because there's something spiritually going on. My soul, maybe you'll understand this. My soul is fragmented. It's all over the place. And I had to start aligning my mind, my will, my emotions, my spirit, everything. And so like really like learning, I guess, what is going on with your life? Like, are you, I could talk on that topic for a long time, but you said a lot. So where am I headed?
Yeah.
To me, I am creating leaders, and my savage saints, like they're going to go out and create either their businesses, their communities, whatever it is.
Leaders create leaders.
Yeah, leaders create leaders, but it's going to be founded on these principles that I speak of. And I was talking to one of my friends. He keeps sending me like these spiritual reels, like over and over about God and everything. I'm like, stop sending me reels. I don't want to hear them anymore. I was like, send me a scripture, read the Bible. Literally, tell me what you prayed about. I want that.
Yeah.
No offense if you hear this. Yeah, I love you, bro. I love you. But like, I don't know if you ever. But I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm laying down the foundation of like, let's learn real stuff. And but yeah, that's my vision is just create more leaders. And I want to do more events, in-person events. I want to do kind of like your guy here was saying, like more virtual events. And I think about what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to heal people. We're supposed to really help people, really heal the sick, and do all the things that Jesus did too. So that's in my vision too. That's in my radar. But it's like you have to work yourself up as well, and that has nothing to do with business. Yeah. That has nothing to do with making money. That's a whole different. This is a whole different life. I guess I have a hard question for you. Okay, this is a question that I ask myself. I'm like, okay, so you believe in God, and there's stories in the Bible where God will be like, come follow me. And the person will be like, well, hold on, let me get my affairs in order. And he's like, let the dead bury the dead. That's in the past. Like, if you want to roll with me, you got to get up now and roll. Yeah. And you got to leave your business. You got to leave your people. You got to leave everything. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but and I'm like, okay, I have a successful business. Would I be able to just drop everything and just go?
Yeah.
And I guess that's my I don't even know if I'm asking you to say it, but like that's a hard question.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. The one word I think about. That's obedience right there.
That's obedience. Yeah.
Right. Would you be willing to drop everything because God is giving you a message, a new assignment, right? And would you be able to do that? And would there be, what would that attract, right? The fear, the doubt. Like there's so many stories in the Bible of how like people were obedient and versus people who were not, right? And I just think like, man, that's just a true testament of like your faith at the end of the day, right?
And we're going to find out. You know?
Yeah. So for what I'm hearing in regards to what's next for you, bro, it sounds like definitely world domination, a force for good, right? Is what I'm hearing. More events, and then just more importantly, just creating more leaders.
Exactly
is what I'm hearing.
Kind of like the same thing that I've been doing, and just growing it, and that's really. I feel like I've been on the right path now. It's just like multiply it. Just keep going. I'll tell just so everybody can kind of understand. I didn't start this to be like, oh, world domination, create all these leaders. I didn't. That was not even in my radar. You have to roll the tape back. I wasn't useful to myself. Okay. So I would go to my gym. I was the only one to be working out in the gym every single day.
Yeah.
And now on Saturdays, okay, I don't call anybody to be like, hey, let's meet on Saturdays. We get like 30 to 40 people sometimes on Saturdays, on a Saturday at 5:30 in the morning. They come from Hayward, or you don't know the Bay Area, but Hayward, you know, Stockton, San Jose, San Francisco, Vallejo, like all these towns, and that's like an hour and a half, 2 hours away, and they're coming to St. Fit. But I'm like, it's attractive. It's like, man, you got a little movement going on here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but that started by just me taking care of myself. One person led to two led to 10, and that's how I think everything should start like that. Is like, take care of your household first, take care of you before you're going off discipling across, you know, in LA or something, you know, like just start in your little town, you know, or start with your people.
Dude, that reminds me of the story of Kobe on the Redeem team when he, you know, they were in Vegas and everyone was like partying Vegas, right? And they come back from the club and they see Kobe.
That's right.
He's like 4 a.m., 5 a.m., something like that, just working out. They're like, what the heck? And next thing you know, the morning workouts was like 2 players, 3 players, and then 5 players. And it was literally just a ripple effect in regards to that. So,
and I think that's just to speak, like a lot of people, like, this is why you have to make it look attractive. Like Kobe was attractive. He had results. He had culture, and that's how you change. This all right. This is a good topic. I think you'll like how you inflict change in the world is not by words. It's not necessarily telling people what to do. It's by the culture that you instill first, and that's how one would say influence or brainwash.
Yeah.
One or the other.
It
depends on what side you are.
Yeah.
So you'll see little pieces in schools, little pieces in music, and it's bad. But I'm like, what if we take that concept, but for good? Now we rolling up in Rolls Royces or Lambos, and not that it's about that, but now that's the doorway.
Yeah.
That's, you know, you got muscles, you feel good, you're confident, you're happy. Those are all doorways to a better message. Because when I grew up, it was just like, I don't even want to hear nothing about God and all this stuff. Like, you can be Bible thumping right now, like Jehovah Witness, like I'm not answering this door, you know, that type of thing. So it's like making it look really attractive. And now I have people like living like a godly, one would say a holy life, you know?
Yeah.
You know, in a way. And I hope you guys understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Man, I love it, man. Well, as we wrap up here, I got one last question for you, brother. You know, this podcast is about becoming your highest self. Just real quick, in Gas Money's perspective and eyes, Gas Money, right? What's your, how would you describe becoming your higher self?
Oof. You want to go first? What do you think?
I mean, for me, I would just say, of course, I mean, it kind of sounds the same thing. It's becoming the best version of you. I take it back to, I almost see it in relation to when people used to ask me what success means to you. And as we've grown older, matured, we've gone through our trials, our tribulations, our definition of success has changed. Like I'm a father now. So to me, the definition of success is raising Christ warriors, like children, that are going to do good for the world, right? Believers, them becoming leaders and serving people and being a force for good. To me, that's what success is. Leaving a lasting impact.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And that's how I see kind of like becoming your highest self.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
The best version of you, to the best of your ability, but also just leaving a lasting impact on people.
No, I love it.
Yeah.
I think we can keep going on and on that. I think there's a different the term success is so like it's a trigger word, you know, we don't know. But I think we can all agree on this is if you went to heaven, and you know, I think David Goggins kind of said something along the lines of this, but I didn't get it from him. It's just literally what it is. It's like if you rolled up to heaven and then God says, this is who you were supposed to be. These are the things that I had meant for you, and you did none of them. Because I believe that if you lift up your foot, there's a barcode. There's something that you are supposed to do, and you show up there and you didn't do any of them. To me, that's a failed life, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing with Savage Saints and Team Gas Money is really getting you to answer and find that question. And you're not going to probably find it all in 1 3-month little duration. It's going to be a continuation of like, man, this has really grown. You know, for a lot of people, they think they made it after they stopped drinking.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, that was step 1. That was step 2.
Yeah.
You just started getting there.
Yeah.
There's so much you are meant to do. Like I say, your purpose is hidden in your trauma. Your purpose is hidden in your trauma. You have to find your purpose. And I guess a success to me is like really walking that path and really going as far as you can. And I take it all the way. Is like, why do you connect with God? Is so he could tell you your next steps. You're not going to know it from your level. You're going to have a good relationship with God so he can tell you little mysteries, little directions, little ideas and to me, that's a successful life. And also knowing how to combat like evil. It's like, you're never successful and not successful. It's all just moments pieced together. Yeah. So it's like, if you have they're just moments strung together. But if you know a system of how to get you back into peace, get you back confident, get you back loving yourself, getting back in alignment, that to me, you're successful that day. So like, you have to know how to do that. It's not a like, hey, okay, you hit $1 million and that's what you made this year. That doesn't mean you're a success. It's all just moment to moment to moment. Every single day, are you successful? Or you feel successful? Did your actions align? Did you feel good? If that makes sense. Yeah, like it's deep. It's deep. You know.
Yeah.
I think that's where some of my issue is just like we can go too deep, and that's why I like to just take it real simple too. It's like, let's just get fit. Just follow but there's more, Doug. There's
the layer.
Yes, there's more. Like, and I see people exit the program too early, and I'm like, bro, you just started. Yeah. And then I see them struggle later. And I'm like, you just got to keep going.
Yeah. I love it, man. Well, Gas Money, I appreciate you coming on the podcast, man. Just real quick, for anyone that's interested in connecting with you, or maybe we'll have it in the description on the on the YouTube episode, Spotify, Apple, all that great stuff, or anyone that may be interested in joining your community or even getting coaching by you. Where's the best way to get in contact with you, bro?
Yeah. So you can find me on IG is the best spot. So Instagram, Gas Money 1. You could just DM me the word I'm ready, and then I'll get you going. If you want to get fit, get in shape, get closer to God, be the man that you know you need to be the woman that you know you need to be, or just create a legendary life. I think that's what we should be doing here. And I also have a YouTube channel. Just type in my name, Michael Gastelum. And then I also have a school community, which I'm planning to have thousands of people in there. Really, it's really like my introductory like program. Yeah. So you have your low and your mid and your elite, where you can work one-on-one with me as well. Yeah. I work with a lot of entrepreneurs who have a lot of money, but they forgot their true purpose, their true calling. And if you're one of those people, message me on Instagram and connect with me.
All right, awesome, man. Gas Money, I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for flying out here, brother.
Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate you guys. Parables Podcast. We are out of here.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone. Thank you for tuning into the podcast. If you enjoyed the episode and found value, Don't forget to hit that follow so you are always updated and in the loop with the latest episode drops. In addition, if you could rate the podcast, that would help us tremendously with visibility. Lastly, if you know someone that would enjoy or benefit from this episode or the show, please pay it forward and share it with them. It means a lot to us. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.